Afternoon, everybody. Just checking to see if you can see me. Yeah, okay. I think the technology's working. So thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar, How Fit Are Your Finances? My name's Carla. I'm the CEO of Oakmere Wealth Management, and it's fantastic to have you here today. So whether you're already thinking about your financial future or just curious about how to get started. Now, we all know how important it is to stay physically fit, but have you ever thought about how fit your finances actually are? Without financial fitness, we risk uncertainty, stress, and missed opportunities to achieve the lifestyle that we actually want. So, over the next 45 minutes, we're going to explore what financial fitness actually looks like. We're going to identify potential areas for improvement, and we'll explore how Oakmere can help you achieve your goals. Now, financial fitness doesn't mean you have to have millions in the bank. It's more about feeling confident and secure with your money and knowing that you're prepared for whatever comes your way. So, we're going to cover everything from budgeting, managing debt, to planning for retirement and potentially leaving a legacy. And don't worry, this session is designed to be practical, friendly, and totally jargon free. So please, this is a safe space. There's no silly questions, so feel free to put questions into the Q&A or the chat. We're going to try and answer as many as possible towards the end, and I'm going to share how you can book a complimentary financial health check as well, so do stay tuned for that. So my aim is that by the end of today's session, you're going to feel clearer about your financial position and you're going to be inspired to take your next steps. So here goes. So moving on. Bear with me. So let me tell you a little bit about Oakmere Wealth Management and why I believe that we're uniquely positioned to help people just like you. We specialise in building long-term relationships with our clients, focusing on what really matters and helping you to live your best life. Here at Oakmere, we pride ourselves on doing things a little differently. Our focus is on building relationships based on understanding your unique circumstances and helping you achieve your goals. We specialise in creating bespoke financial plans for our clients. And when I say bespoke, I truly mean it, because your financial situation is as unique as your fingerprint. So the plan that we create for you will reflect your individual circumstances, your values, and your aspirations. We don't push products or pre-packing solutions. Instead, we actually focus on understanding you. So what are your goals? What keeps you up at night? What kind of life do you want to live? Because it's not just about now, but it's in the future, about the future as well. And so once we understand that, we'll work with you to build a financial roadmap that will empower you to live your best life. Now, what sets us apart from other financial planning firms? Well, for one, it's our unwavering commitment to our clients. We don't see ourselves as simply financial advisors. We see ourselves as partners in your journey. We're here to guide you, we're here to support you, sometimes challenge you, and to make sure that you stay on track. Now, our core values define how we approach every single relationship and decision. First of all, commitment. We're dedicated to helping you achieve your financial goals. So whether it's retiring early, traveling the world, helping your children buy the first home, we want to make those dreams a reality. We're aspirational. We encourage you to dream big. We empower you. So we know that finances can feel intimidating or overwhelming, but we're here to simplify the complex. We want you to feel confident and in control of your financial decisions. And trust is the foundation of everything that we do. We're completely transparent in our advice, and your best interests will always come first. And we collaborate, because financial planning isn't something that we do to you, it's something we do with you. It's a team effort, and your goals are at the centre. One of the things that I love most about the work we do is seeing that how financial clarity can transform lives. Because for many of our clients, just having a plan in place gives them a sense of control and a peace of mind that they've never felt before. And for us, that's what it's all about. It's about helping you feel secure and excited about your future. Now at Oakmere, we have a process that we call the Oakmere Way. This is our structured approach to financial planning. It's designed to ensure that nothing's missed, and it involves getting to know you deeply, analysing your financial position, and crafting a plan that evolves as your life changes. So to summarise, at Oakmere, we aren't just about numbers, graphs, charts. We're about people. It's about understanding your story, your dreams, and your challenges, and using our expertise to help you achieve what matters most to you. That's why I love what I do, and I'm excited to share some of that with you here today. So, first of all, what is financial fitness? Let's just move this on. There we go. So, financial fitness. You might be wondering, what exactly does it mean? Well, just like physical fitness, financial fitness is all about balance, it's about preparation, it's about making consistent, healthy decisions. It's definitely not about perfection, it's about progress. And when you think about physical fitness, you might think about regular exercise, eating well, getting enough sleep. And of course, if you neglect any of those, then your health suffers, right? Well, financial fitness works the same way. It's about having the right habits, the right strategies in place to ensure your financial health now and in the future. So, what are the key elements of financial fitness? Well, there's five, and they're a bit like the pillars of a strong foundation. First of all, we have budgeting, tax planning, debt management, future planning, and legacy planning. So there you have it, the five key elements of financial fitness, if only it was that easy. And if you think about it, these are like the muscles of your financial health, because some of them might be stronger than others right now, and that's okay, because the goal is that we'll work on each one over time so that you feel balanced, you feel prepared, and importantly, you feel confident. So take a moment to think about which of these areas you feel strongest in and which ones might need a little bit of attention. And remember, you don't have to tackle everything on your own. That's why we're here, to guide you and to give you the tools that you need to build your financial fitness. Now, we're going to cover each one of these in a little more detail very shortly. Now, next, I would like to hear from you, and we have a poll. So let me just get this poll started. Let me just launch this. Okay, so hopefully the poll is popping up on your screen. So what's your biggest financial concern? Is it inflation, tax? Is it interest rates, financial costs? Having enough money to live on? Is it leaving a legacy? Or is it maybe inheritance tax? Now, if you're anything like most people that I've worked with, then it might be a few of these that are actually keeping you up at night, and that's okay. It's completely normal to feel uncertain about your finances. So the good news is that with the right plan, we can address all of these concerns. So I think we're about 50% at the moment in terms of who's voted. So just pop your answer on the poll if you don't mind, and then we'll move on. Okay, it's still going up. Bear with me and I'll share the results. Still going up, still going up. Okay, let's call it there. So if I just end this and share the results, you should be able to see on screen. So the biggest concern people have got is having enough money to live on, and you're not on your own there. What's important is that you don't have to face these worries on your own. With the right plan in place, many of these concerns can be addressed in a way that's practical and achievable for you. So now let's talk about something that lies at the very heart of financial fitness, and that's financial planning. Now, I know that financial planning might sound something complicated or for only people with loads of money, but that's really not true. A financial plan is basically a roadmap for your money. It's a guide from getting you from where you are now to where you want to be. So imagine setting off on a road trip without a map or a sat nav or even a destination in mind. You might end up somewhere interesting. Who knows what you're going to pass on the way? But chances are you're going to waste a lot of time, a lot of effort, and probably a lot of fuel along the way. So financial planning is like your sat nav. It gives you direction, it highlights potential roadblocks, and it keeps you on the most efficient path to your goals. So why is planning important? Let's break it down into three key benefits. Well, first of all, prepares you for the unexpected. Life is full of surprises, as we all know. Some are good, some are not so good. But having a financial plan in place means that you're prepared for the unexpected. So whether it's a sudden expense, a change in income, or even a market downturn, your plan will act as a safety net, helping you navigate these challenges without losing your financial footing. For example, during COVID-19, many people faced reduced income, increasing expenses or unexpected expenses. Those with a solid financial plan, including an emergency fund, were far better equipped to weather the storm. So planning also helps you align with your goals. It helps ensure that your money is working for you and not the other way around. It's about making sure that every decision that you make, whether it's saving, spending, investing, is moving you closer to your goals. So think about your own goals. Maybe you want to retire early. Perhaps you want to help your children or your grandchildren through university. Maybe take that dream holiday that you've been thinking about. Whatever your goals are, a financial plan will bring them into focus and it will help you figure out the steps that you need to achieve them. Because without a plan, it's really easy to drift through life, hoping that things will work out. But hope isn't a strategy, a plan is. And finally, peace of mind, which is one of the biggest benefits of financial planning. When you know you've got a plan in place, you can stop worrying about the what ifs and actually start enjoying the present. One of my favourite moments in this job is seeing the relief on someone's face when we present them with the plan. It's like a weight's been lifted off the shoulders and they can finally breathe easy, knowing that they're in control of their financial future. So at Oakmere, we have a process that we call the Oakmere Way. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, it's a tailored process and it's designed around your unique needs and circumstances. So here's how it works. Well, we start off by getting to know you. It's a discovery process. We get to know your goals, your worries, your concerns, your values. It's your story, and it's at the foundation of everything that we do. Next, we analyse. We take a detailed look at your current financial situation. We identify strengths, gaps, weaknesses, opportunities, and then we create a personal financial roadmap that reflects your priorities and your goals, always leaving room for flexibility. Then we guide you through putting the plan into action, whether it's setting up investments, optimizing your pensions, or even managing your tax efficiently. And then finally, not shown on the screen here, but a really important part of the process is review and adjust because life changes and your financial plan needs to change with it. That's why we regularly review and update your plan to make sure it stays aligned with your goals. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but is it too late for me to start? Well, the answer is absolutely not. It's never too late, whether you're 30s, 40s, 50s, or beyond. There is always value in financial planning. For example, if you're closer to retirement, then your plan might focus on making the most of your pensions and ensuring that your income is going to last as long as you need it to. If you're younger, then you might be prioritising building wealth through investments or paying off debts. The key is to start where you are and take that first step. Because as the saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Now, as we move on, just take a moment to think about your own financial goals. What would you love to achieve in the next 5, 10, 20 years? Remember, no goal is too big or too small. What's important is what it matters to you or how it matters to you. Now, let's tackle three critical questions that sit at the heart of financial planning, because these are the questions that we ask every client at the beginning of the journey, because the answers help shape a tailored plan. Now, they're not always easy to answer. They can lead to some very detailed conversations, but they're vital for building clarity and confidence in your finances. So let's just take them one at a time. So first of all, how much capital will you need to fund the lifestyle that you want? So this is where we start thinking about your dreams, about your goals, about your future. What kind of lifestyle do you want to lead in the future? What do you want to do? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to spend more time with your family? Do you want to move to your dream home or a sunnier climate? I know that's very appealing today. Maybe you're looking for a simpler life, perhaps focusing on hobbies or giving back to your community, volunteering. Whatever your goals are, they're going to come at a price tag. And so the first step is thinking about how much money you'll need to support the lifestyle that you're thinking about. For example, Let's say you'd like to retire at 65 and spend all your winters abroad. Now, you need to calculate not just your day-to-day living expenses, but presumably you're keeping a home up and running in the UK, but also the cost of travel, the cost of accommodation, and potentially the cost of healthcare in another country if it's needed. Now, the good news is that you don't need to work this out on your own, because part of what we do at Oakmere is help you put some realistic numbers against your goals so we can start working towards them. We can use our experience of working with other clients on these goals. So the second question, how close are you to the goal and are you on track? Well, the next step is to look at where you are today and compare it to where you want to be, because this is about taking stock of your current financial position. What do you have saved currently? What's in your pension pot? Are there any debts that you've got outstanding that need addressing? And this question is a bit like standing on the scales before you start a fitness plan. Nobody wants to do it. It might not be fun, but it's a really important check and a way to check your progress. It's almost a reality check. Now, you might find you're actually already on track, which is fantastic. But if there's a gap between where you are now and where you want to get to, that's okay too, because the whole point of financial planning is to bridge that gap. And the one thing I really want to stress here, that being off track doesn't mean failure. It just means adjustment, because small, consistent changes can make a huge difference over time. For example, increasing your pension contributions by even the tiniest percentage now could significantly boost your retirement later on. And then the third question, question three, what can you achieve with your current resources and strategy? Well, this is where we look at what's realistic based on your current situation, because this is going to help set expectations and prioritize. If your goal is to retire early, but your pension pot's not quite there yet, then we might look at, ways to maximize your savings or adjust your timeline slightly. If you'd like to leave a legacy for your children, but maybe you're also concerned about inheritance tax, then we look at ways to explore options like trusts or gifting during your lifetime. This is also where flexibility comes in, because life very rarely goes exactly as planned. So it's important to have that strategy that you can adapt. At Oakmere, we guide you through answering these three questions in a way that feels manageable and stress-free, because our role is not to dictate. Our role is to guide you, to empower you, sometimes challenge you, but to help you make informed decisions. Now, these questions might feel overwhelming, but remember, every great journey starts with a single step. So you don't need to have all the answers right now. The important thing is to start asking the questions and to know that help's available as and when you need it. Because if any of these feel unclear or a bit daunting, then that's where we come in. Our goal is to make the complex simple and to help you turn uncertainty into confidence. So let's take a moment to think about what you really want to achieve with your finances. What are your desired outcomes? What's your dream? Because as we've already said, everyone's goals are unique. There's really no one size fits all. Your financial plan should be as individual as you are, because ultimately it's about creating that life that you want. So, what could your goals be? Well, for many people, they'll fall into several categories. So let me walk you through some of the common ones that we see. Well, first of all, security. For many people, financial security is the top priority. This means knowing that your bills are paid for, your debts are manageable, and you've got a safety net for any unexpected expenses. Does that sound like you? Does that resonate perhaps? Others might be looking for financial freedom. This is about having some flexibility to make choices, whether it's cutting back on work, maybe taking some time out, taking a sabbatical, or perhaps starting a business. So think about what financial freedom means to you, because it's different for everybody. Or perhaps your goal is to enjoy life to the fullest. Maybe you'd love to travel more, take up a new hobby, perhaps spend some quality time with your family, because these are the things that make life meaningful and they deserve a place in your financial plan. So do dream big. And then for some, it's about leaving a lasting legacy. So this could be supporting children or grandchildren, it could be giving to charity, or maybe ensuring that your values live on through the wealth that you've built. So leaving a lasting, impressionable legacy for the future. But the important thing to get clear on is about what matters most to you. So, why does defining your goals matter? Well, because without clear goals, your financial plan is a bit like a ship without a rudder. It's hard to know where you're going or even if you're on track because your goals will act as a compass for every financial decision that you make. Also, knowing your desired outcome helps us to prioritize. So let's face it, most of us have got limited resources. So whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's energy. But by focusing on what's really important to you, we can make the most of what you've got. So let's now talk about the role of financial advice and why it can make such a significant difference to your journey. Because I know that many people think, do I really need financial advice? Can't I just figure it out on my own? Well, it's a fair question. The truth is, some aspects of personal finance can be managed independently, it's something you can do yourself. But actually, having a professional by your side can be a game changer, especially when it comes to the big picture and sometimes those really tricky decisions, because we might see things that you don't. Managing your finances is a bit like trying to solve a puzzle, but all the pieces keep changing and moving about. Markets fluctuate, tax rules evolve, and of course, life throws us curveballs. Now, a financial planner is there to guide you when the things change and to help you make sure that you stay on track. So, what exactly does a financial planner do? Well, let me break it down into five key roles. The first two, keeping you safe in behavioral coaching. Well, let's face it, money's emotional. When markets drop, it's natural to panic and want to sell everything. Or when markets soar, the temptation to take unnecessary risks can be really strong. So, a financial planner will act like a steady hand on the wheel. We will help you avoid knee jerk reactions and stick to your long term plan. Even when emotions are running high, it's about making rational and informed decisions, not emotional ones. We offer a customized client experience because everybody's financial journey is unique. This is why a cookie cutter solution simply won't work because at Oakmere, we take the time to get to know you. We get to know your goals, your values, your challenges, and we tailor everything to fit your solution. Your situation. So, for example, if you're nearing retirement, we might perhaps focus on income generation, tax efficiency. But if you're earlier in the career, then we might prioritize building your wealth and managing debts. So it's not about following a template, it's about crafting a strategy that works. And product alignment. There's a dizzying array of financial products out there: ISAs, pensions, investments, insurance. It's not always clear which is best for your circumstances or is going to most closely fit your needs. So our job is to cut through all that noise and recommend products that align with your goals and values, because this is going to save you time, it's going to reduce your stress, and it's also going to make sure that you're not overpaying for things that you don't need. And then finally, tax efficient planning. Everyone's favourite topic, especially in the light of the recent budget, tax. Because whilst we can't make taxes disappear, it'd be great if we had that magic wand, we can actually help minimise the impact on your finances. For instance, are you making the most of your ISA allowance? Are your pension contributions optimised for tax relief? Because these might seem like small things, but over time, they can make a huge difference. Now, at Oakmere, tax efficiency is a core part of every financial plan because it's not just about what you earn, it's actually about what you get to keep. So at the end of the day, financial advice is about partnerships. It's not about numbers, it's not about spreadsheets, it's about helping you achieve the life that you want in a way that feels manageable and stress-free. Imagine having somebody in your corner that's dedicated to your success, someone who's there to answer your questions, anticipate challenges that might be coming your way, and give you the confidence to make informed decisions, because that is what financial advice is all about. Now, let's look at some of the pillars and foundations of financial fitness. So, moving on, first of all, to budgeting. Now, I know this is not the most exciting topic. It doesn't have the glamour of investing or the thrill of a big holiday, but it is absolutely essential. Without a budget, it's like trying to run a marathon without knowing how far you've gone or how much water you're going to need. So, a budget is quite simply a plan for your money. It's not about restriction, it's about empowerment. It helps you understand where your money's going so you can take control and make it work for you rather than the other way around. So, why is budgeting important? Well, it does uh, three critical things, I would say. So, first of all, it gives you clarity. It gives you a clear picture of your financial health because many people are surprised when they track the spending for the first time. And it's not uncommon to find that you're spending more than you thought on things like dining out, subscriptions, Spotify, those little things that add up. A budget will force you to think about your priorities. Do you want to save for retirement? Do you want to pay off a debt? Do you want to save for a holiday? So, whatever your goals are, a budget's going to ensure that your spending aligns with them. Now, it also reduces stress because once you know exactly where your money's going and you have a plan for it, you can feel more confident and in control. It takes the guesswork out of managing your finances. And that peace of mind, in my view, is actually priceless. So, creating a budget might sound daunting, but it's actually easier than you think. And there's a simple step by step process, which I'll just talk you through. So, first of all, start by calculating your total income. This includes your salary, any income you've got from a side hustle, rental income, or any benefits you're receiving, or investment income. So it's really important that you work with your net income. So that's the amount that you take home after you've paid any taxes or deductions. The next step, track your spending for at least a month. Break it down into categories like housing, groceries, transport, entertainment, savings. Now, there are apps out there you can use. You can use a spreadsheet on Excel, or you can even go back to the old-fashioned way and use a notebook. And don't forget irregular expenses like car maintenance, MOTs, trips away, gifts, birthdays, Christmas, that kind of thing, because that will help make sure you're getting a full picture. Now, it'll also help if you go back over your bank statement to track these, because it's easy to forget the little spends, the little quick trip to Starbucks or the tube fare or anything like that. So use your bank statement so you can see exactly what's going out. Now, once you know where your money's going, set a limit for each category. So you're going to spend X amount on groceries or X amount on clothes or X amount on entertainment. And be realistic. There's no point at all in creating a budget that you can't stick to. Now, a key principle of budgeting is to pay yourself first. So, what this means is prioritizing your savings and investment before spending on other things. What you're doing is you're almost paying your future self. So, you could aim, for example, to save maybe 10 or 20% of your income each month if possible, and do that before you do anything else. Now, I would also recommend that you adjust and review your budget regularly because life changes and so will your budget. You might get a pay rise so you can increase your expenditure or perhaps your goals will shift. A good budget is going to evolve with you over time, so keep going back and reviewing it. Now, let's be honest, sticking to a budget isn't always easy because life will throw things in your way. So here's some tips for overcoming common challenges. Well, my top tip would be to automate your savings. So set up a standing order or transfer money into your savings account as soon as you're paid. This removes the temptation to spend it. Get it out of your current account and into a separate account. Another tip, use cash for discretionary spending. So if you find yourself overspending on things like dining out or shopping, try using cash for those categories instead, because once the cash is gone, it's gone. So you have to be really strict with yourself there. And track your progress, because budgeting isn't about being perfect, it's about progress. So if you overspend 1 month, don't beat yourself up about it. Be kind to yourself. Just review your budget, see where you went wrong, and adjust it going forwards. Move forwards with a revised budget in mind. And then finally, I would say my top tip is find a money buddy, involve your family. Because if you share your finances with a partner, a friend, or a family member, then it works best when everyone's on the same page. And the beauty of budgeting is it doesn't just help you today, it actually sets the stage for long-term success. And remember that even small changes, no matter how tiny they are, will all add up over time. And so cutting back on a few unnecessary expenses might not feel like much, even just one cup of coffee a week. But over a year, over a lifetime, it can actually make a huge difference. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't often get the attention it deserves, and that's the emergency fund. Now, it's not the most exciting part of financial planning, but it's one of the most important because an emergency fund is your financial safety net. It's there to protect you when life throws the unexpected your way. And we all know that life has a habit of doing that. So imagine your car breaks down, or your boiler gives up in the middle of winter, or you suddenly need to take time off work for health reasons. Well, without an emergency fund, these situations can very quickly turn into financial crisis. But having an emergency fund, they're just inconveniences. You know you can handle them without stress or without resorting to expensive credit cards or loans. So, how much should you have in your emergency fund? And there's a saying that most people are just one payday away from financial crisis. A good rule of thumb is to aim for about 3 to 6 months worth of essential expenditure. So that means enough to cover things like rent, mortgage payments, utility bills, groceries, and also any minimum debt payments. So, for example, if your essential monthly expenditure is around £2,000, then your goal should be to save up between £6,000 and £12,000 to have as your emergency fund. Now, I know that might sound like a lot, especially if you're starting from zero, but don't let the number overwhelm you because building up an emergency fund is a journey, it's not a sprint. So even just having 1 month's expenditure saved can actually make a huge difference. So the key is to start small and to stay consistent. So here's some practical tips to get you started. First of all, set a target. Decide on an initial goal. It could be like saving 1 month's expenses. Then once you hit that goal, build towards 3 months and then 6 months. So break it down into smaller, more manageable goals, and that will make it feel more achievable. Number two, as before, automate your savings. Set up that standing order to transfer a fixed amount into a separate savings account as soon as you're paid. Treat it like any other bill, it's non-negotiable. Number three, cut back temporarily. Look for areas where you can reduce your spending, even if it's only for a short period. For example, skip your takeaway coffee, cancel your unused subscriptions, or maybe pause non-essential purchases. Do you need it just yet? Because, as I said before, every bit will add up. Use a windfall wisely. So if you get a bonus or a tax refund, or perhaps somebody gives you a gift, then think about putting some or all of it into your emergency fund. That's a really quick way to give your savings a boost. And then finally, most importantly, keep it separate. Make sure your emergency fund is in a separate account from your day-to-day spending. That's going to reduce the temptation to dip into it for non-emergencies. And a high interest savings account, premium bonds, national savings, or an easy access ISA can be a great option for this. Now, an emergency fund doesn't just protect your finances, it actually protects your peace of mind. So knowing that you have a safety net means you can face life's challenges with confidence rather than fear. It will also help you stop making expensive mistakes, like having to rely on high interest credit cards or perhaps dipping into investments at the wrong time. I would think of it as an insurance for your peace of mind. Hope you'll never need it, but you'll be so glad it's there if you do. Now, the next step we're going to talk about is debt. Now, this is a topic that can feel really overwhelming for many people, but it honestly doesn't have to be. Managing debt wisely is a key part of financial fitness, And it's all about understanding your situation. It's about making a plan. And it's about taking control. First, let me just reassure you for a second, debt is not inherently bad. In fact, there's certain types of debt that can actually be a really useful financial tool. For example, a mortgage to allow you to buy a home, or a business loan that can help grow your company, or vehicle finance to help get a car. And these are what we call good debts. They're almost investments in your future. On the other hand, bad debt typically refers to things like high interest credit card balances or payday loans or things like Klarna, buy now, pay later, that don't really offer any kind of long-term benefit. And these are the kind of debts that can weigh you down and make it even harder to achieve your financial goals. So why is managing debt so critical? Well, when debt gets out of hand, it can lead to stress. It can limit your financial flexibility, and it can even impact your credit score. But when you manage it effectively, you're actually freeing up money to focus on what really matters, whether that's saving for retirement, travel, or just enjoying life. So here's some practical strategies for managing debt effectively. First of all, know your numbers. Get your head out the sand and get a clear picture of your debt. So write down all your debts, including the balances, the interest rates, and your monthly payments. This is going to help you understand where you stand and which debt needs attention first. Number two, prioritize high interest debt. Focus on paying off the debts with the highest interest rates first. Now, this is often called the avalanche method, and it saves you money in the long run. Alternatively, you might find it more motivating to see quick wins. So you could try the snowball method as opposed to the avalanche method. This is where you actually pay the small debts off first, regardless of the interest rate. Now, there's no right or wrong. It's about what works best for you and what's going to motivate you to make a start on the journey. Now, consolidate where you can. If you've got multiple debts with high interest rates, you could think about bringing them all into one lower interest loan. This will help simplify your payments and actually can reduce the amount of interest you're paying overall. And then avoid taking on new debts. So whether you're working to pay off existing debts, try and avoid taking on new ones, because it might mean saying no to unnecessary purchases or delaying perhaps some big expenditure until you've made more progress. But make debt repayment a priority in your budget. So even just making that small extra payment each month will make a big difference over time. So just an extra 50 quid a month on a credit card could save you hundreds in interest. And let's also acknowledge the emotional side of debt, because it's not just numbers on a spreadsheet. It can actually affect your mental health. It can affect your relationship, and it will affect your overall sense of well-being. And I think it's really important to know that if debt does feel overwhelming, you're not on your own. Many people have been in your shoes, and there's absolutely no shame in seeking help. So whether that's speaking to a financial advisor, it's about exploring debt counselling services, or perhaps just talking to somebody that you trust, the important thing is that you do take that first step. Imagine what life could feel like without the burden of debt. You'd have more freedom to save, to invest, to spend money on the things that really matter to you in life. And you'll feel more secure knowing that your finances are under control. Becoming debt-free isn't just about the money. It's about creating the life that you want. And the great news is it's entirely possible if you've got the right plan and the right support. So here's a quick question for you. If you had one less debt to worry about, what would you do with that extra money? Would you save it? Would you invest it? Would you treat yourself to something special? So take a moment just to think about that, because that can be a really powerful motivator in helping you to start taking action. Now let's talk about investing. An essential part of investing is an essential part of building wealth and securing your financial future is investing. Now, I know that for some, the idea of investing can seem a bit intimidating or maybe a bit risky, or you might have heard stories about stock market crashes or someone who's lost money on a bad investment. But here's the truth. Investing isn't about gambling or taking wild risks. It's about putting your money to work for you so it grows over time. Because when it's done correctly, investing can be one of the most powerful tools for achieving your financial goals. So, first of all, let's talk about why investing matters. Well, the main reason is inflation, because over time, the cost of living rises and your money is, if your money is just sitting in a kind of a regular savings account or a current account, then it's actually losing value in real terms. By investing your money to grow faster than inflation, it will preserve and increase the purchasing power of your money. So, for example, say you save £10,000 in a savings account and you're earning 1% interest per year, but inflation's at 3%. Well, in 10 years' time, your £10,000 has lost a significant amount of its value. But if you invested that same £10,000 in a diversified portfolio, for example, earning maybe 5% a year, then it's going to have grown considerably, even after accounting for inflation. And in successful investing isn't about timing the market. It's actually about two words, which is time in the market. So this means starting as early as possible and staying consistent. So even when markets fluctuate. And here's the three key principles of smart investing. So first of all, diversification. Never ever put all your eggs in one basket. So diversification means spreading your investments across different asset classes like stocks, bonds, property, or commodities. And this will help to reduce risk because when one asset class performs poorly, another might perform well. So think about it like planting a garden. If one plant doesn't grow, then hopefully others are going to thrive, ensuring that your garden remains healthy overall. Number two is your risk tolerance. Your investment strategy should reflect the level of risk that you're comfortable taking. So if you're closer to retirement, for example, you might prefer safer, more stable investments. If you're younger, you can probably afford to take more risk because you've got a potentially longer time horizon, potential for higher returns. So at Oakmere, we work with you to assess your risk profile and build a portfolio that matches it. And number three is consistency. Investing isn't a one-time event, it's about habit. Invest regularly, review regularly, you'll smooth the ups and downs of the market. This approach is called pound cost averaging, and it's going to reduce the the impact of market volatility and keep your money growing steadily over time. Now, you might be thinking, great, but what should I invest in? Well, this really depends on your goals, your timeline, and your risk tolerance. But some of the common investment options, which I previously mentioned, are stocks. So that's ownership in a company. Tend to be higher risk, but they also have a higher potential returns. There's bonds, which are loans to governments or companies, generally safer, but offer lower returns. What about property? So investing in property can provide steady rental income, long-term appreciation. Or what about ISAs and pensions? So tax-efficient ways to grow your wealth. So ISAs means that you can grow your money without paying tax on the returns, whereas pensions offer tax relief on contributions. The key is to have a mix of these investments tailored to your unique goals and circumstances. And that's where professional advice can make all the difference. Now, one of the biggest advantages of investing is something called compound growth, earning returns on your returns. So the earlier that you start, the more time your money has to grow. So for example, let's say you invest £20 a month starting at age 30 and your investments grow by an average of 5% a year. Well, by the time you're 60, you're going to have over £160,000. Now, if you don't start until you're 40, instead, you're only going to have about £90,000. And that's the power of starting early. It makes a huge difference over time. So just have a think about your own investing goals. Are you saving for retirement? Are you building wealth? Or are you planning for something specific like your children's education? Think about what's going to motivate you for saving. And remember, it's never too late to start investing. Even small steps today can lead to significant results in the future. Now, retirement is one of the biggest milestones in life, and planning for it is key to making sure it's everything you want it to be. Whether it's just around the corner or it's still years away, the steps you take today will make a huge difference to the future. And retirement planning isn't just about pensions. It's about creating a lifestyle that you want, and ensuring that you've got the financial resources to support it. So let's break it down to three key areas. You've got your goals, you've got your resources, and you've got your strategy. So goals, we've talked a lot about goals today, and they look different for everyone. So it's important to think about what you want your retirement to look like. Do you want to travel? Do you want to downsize? Do you want to ease into retirement? But having a clear vision about what you want your ideal retirement to look like will help us work backwards to work out what figure you need to support that lifestyle. Next, we look at your resources. So, what have you already got in place to fund your retirement? So, this might include things like pensions, savings, property, state pension. And the key is to get a really clear picture of your starting point. So, where are you now? Have you got a workplace pension? Do you know how much it's worth? What income it's going to give you? That's a great place to start. And it's also important to think about how these resources are going to align with your goals. Are they going to be sufficient to cover your lifestyle, or is there a gap that we need to look at? And then create a strategy. Once we've understood your goals, we've understood your resources, it's time to create a strategy. And this is where a tailored retirement plan comes in. So we could be looking at things like maximising pensions. Are you contributing enough? Are you making the most of any tax relief that's available to you? Investing for growth, helping your money grow faster, keeping ahead of inflation. Managing withdrawals. If you're getting closer to retirement or actually at retirement, making sure that we're drawing down on your pensions and savings in the most tax efficient way. Thinking about future healthcare costs. It can be a significant health expense later in life, so we need to plan for it. And protect your legacy. If leaving an inheritance is important to you, we can think about ways to pass money on in a tax efficient way to the next generation. The important thing to remember is that the plan isn't static. It evolves with your changing circumstances. So regular reviews will help you stay on track and adjust to changes in your life or the financial markets. So the truth is that retirement's about more than just money. It's about peace of mind. It's about knowing that you're going to be able to live the life that you want to live without worry about running out of money, which I know was a concern for many in the poll earlier. So the power of having a plan is that it turns uncertainty into clarity, and it allows you to approach retirement with excitement instead of anxiety. So creating a financial plan is a fantastic step, but it's not something that you set up and forget. Life changes, markets change, and your goals might evolve over time. So this is why it's really important to regularly review and revisit your financial plan. Think of it like a health check for your finances. It keeps everything in good shape and it helps you stay on track. So let's think about why it's so important. Well, things are going to change. Life events, you might get married, you might have children. Your income might change. You might have a new job. You might get promoted. Your income might even reduce. Markets might change. The investment landscape is always changing. Or there could be tax or legal changes, as we've seen in the recent budget. So these can create opportunities or even risks that need to be addressed. And when we're looking at your plan, we focus on your goals. Are they still the same? We look at your savings and investments. Are they on track? We look at your budget. Has this changed? Have you paid off a debt or had a pay rise? We look at tax efficiency. Are we making use of all your available allowances? And we look at the risk management. Are your insurance policies still appropriate? Because as life changes, you might want to adjust your coverage to protect what matters most. So how often should you review your plan? Well, a good rule of thumb is to review your plan at least once a year. However, you should also revisit it after any major life events or significant changes. So if you have had a baby, if you have got married, if you've received an inheritance, if you've received a bonus, if you've lost your job, if you've retired, all these different things are a life event that need reflection and to revisit the plan. So how do we help you stay on track? Well, we listen, we check in with you, we see what's changed, we analyse, we review your progress, we identify any adjustments, and then we act to help implement any changes that we've identified. So rebalancing your portfolio, updating your insurance, revising your budget, all these things will help your plan stay dynamic and adaptable as life changes. So quick interactive moment. When was the last time you reviewed your financial plan? So even your budget, have a think about that. If it's been a while, don't worry, you're not on your own. the important thing going forwards is to make a commitment to review it. And if you don't have a plan yet, that's okay too. This is a great time to think about creating one and then set a schedule to keep it up to date. Now, before we finish and we open up to any questions, I think we possibly had a couple come in. I'm just going to move this slide on. I'd like to invite you to take the next step. So we're offering a complimentary 30-minute financial health check, which is your opportunity to see where you stand and how we can help you achieve your financial goals. So if you scan the QR code on your screen and then scroll down to the third option, you can book your session. So it's at our expense. There's no obligation, no cost to you, and it could be the first step towards transforming your financial future. So I'm going to stop talking now because I'm really dry. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water, and I think Louise has been monitoring the questions as they've come in. So I'd just like to say thank you for joining me. I've enjoyed sharing the time with you today, and I hope you leave feeling inspired to take charge of your financial fitness. So Louise, have we got any questions?
Carla, yes, we've had a couple that have come in during the session. I'll read the first one out if that's okay. In terms of retirement, with regards to the age at which I retire, what key changes could I make to bring my retirement age forward? Should I just be funding my pension or should I use other assets in retirement?
That is a really good question, actually, because this is the question we get asked the most, I would say, by our clients is, how do I know when I've got enough? Because quite often people will accumulate money in different pots. So you might have some in savings, you might have some in pensions. Um, and it's about having flexibility. So, a pension might be the right solution for one person, but actually, if you're in your 30s and you're saving for retirement, you might not want to have your money locked away all that time. So that's where you can look at things like ISAs as an alternative. You can still view it as a pension pot in your head, but actually you can get to the money if you needed to. So I think the key change that you can make is by saving little and often. So if you want to bring that retirement age forward, I suppose my first challenge I would say is, do you know if you're on track to meet your current retirement age? And this is where a financial plan is really important because we would help you establish, okay, have you got enough to meet your current retirement age? And then if you have, then we can start to work that back and work with you to say, okay, well, based on what you've currently got and what we're anticipating you're going to contribute going forwards, this is where we think you can retire. Or, it could be a case of, okay, well, if you put £50 a month extra into your pension now, you could retire 3 years earlier. So it's very much about your own individual circumstance, I would say. And it's about having that plan in place to know what you've currently got and what it's going to do for you. So I hope that answers that one.
That's great. Thanks, Carla. Another question, sticking with pensions. Questions come in regarding I've had several jobs and therefore have a few different pensions spread around. Should I leave them as they are, or should I have the money all in one place?
Again, very good question. This is quite common these days. People don't tend to stay with one employer for their entire life. People do move around. You pick up bits and pieces of pensions all over the place. Obviously, with employees now having to auto enroll you into a pension scheme, um, even if you're with an employer for only a very short period of time, you're probably going to be accumulating pension benefits there. And again, it's not a one size fits all answer here. So it's about what we would do if somebody came to us with a number of pension schemes is we would write to each individual provider. We'd find out exactly what that scheme is doing for them. So all the details around it, because some older schemes might have guarantees built into them that you can't actually buy in today's marketplace. So guarantees that you wouldn't want to lose. We'd look at things like what options have you got within that scheme? What funds have you got available to invest in? What are the costs of that current scheme? And then we compare it to what's in the marketplace today. And we do the analysis to say, actually, are you better staying where you are? Are you better transferring it into another one that you've already got? Or actually, is there something new on the market that you'd be better transferring everything into? So again, I would say, come and have a conversation. That's something we can have a look at for you. It's not a one size fits all answer.
Great. I think, just one more because I'm conscious of time, Carla, if that's okay. Would my financial plan help me decide when it is best the best time to start gifting funds to my children while still maintaining suitable funds for my own lifestyle?
Oh, absolutely. So I spend a lot of time telling clients to either spend more or to give more because naturally, you develop your money habits very early in life, and we're brought up being told to save money. So you go through your working life, you're saving money, you're putting it away for a rainy day. Then you get to retirement, and then changing your mindset from actually a mindset of saving money and accumulating to actually now is your rainy day and you want to start spending down your capital is very difficult for a lot of money. And they don't like spending too much. They don't like giving money away in case they need it. But by having your own tailored financial plan, we predict your cash flow needs for the rest of your life. Um, and we can help you work out the right time to start gifting to children because obviously we've got to think about life expectancy. If you are gifting money, then you've got the 7-year rule for inheritance tax purposes. So you don't want to leave it until you're perhaps too old and you're not going to live the 7 years, or perhaps your health starts to fail. So it's important to make sure we get the sweet spot right as to, first of all, have you got the time horizon? And have you got the capacity within your assets to be able to maintain your lifestyle for the rest of your life as well? So, yeah, absolutely, a financial plan can help with that. So, is that all the questions, Lou?
Yeah, that's all of them done.
Okay, perfect. Well, we're finishing almost spot on time, which is unusual. So I would just again like to thank you all for joining us. As I say, feel free to scan the QR code, book your 30-minute complimentary financial health check. Let us help get your finances fitter. And if you have any questions following today's webinar, then please do get in touch with us. But thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of your day.